Hi all, here's a quick video of grapple carriages and the use of tail spars. In this setup we've got a 255 sitting on a pretty small skid, basically just a ridge sort of topped off, and we just sort of head down the face with minimal lift and just sort of show how even a small tail spar, not a very high one like this, makes a massive difference. So the carriage here shoots off down the hill, and you'll see just on the right hand side on the top of the ridge, pretty much on a high point, there's one tree that's been left as a tail spar. So there's the tree, you just see it there coming into sight, bit of forethought into how the block was going to be harvested. On the left hand side is a bit of a native block. There is actually a fire break running down through there, but by the time council consent was gained and everyone got the approvals, these guys had got in, logged the block and got out. So it just shows how useful these machines can be in this sort of broken country, gutty faces. The Fallen machine's down there just feeding the grapple, so just pulling the wood up, a little short run up out of a gut and just feeding that grapple, sort of bunching 2 to 3 trees at a time. The grapple's got a 2 metre opening claw and is run off a little diesel air-cooled engine. You can see the tail spar. This is not overly high. It was rigged by a professional arborist, and as that grapple's come down, you'll see there's just no one on the hill at all other than the operator in the machine who's about to head down and just grab another few logs. Grapple opens, and pretty quickly there's a grab there. You'll see minimal deflection in that tail spar. There's not a whole lot of loading come on it, and the tail hold down the bottom. So a good drag. As we talk about, there's minimal lift. This machine was running the original 218 brake. It's since been changed out for a 224, which makes a power of difference to the 255, and it operates relatively low air pressures now. The grapple weighs, or the grapple carriage weighs about 1,800 kilos itself. Pretty good stems there, pretty good recovery. There's a fair bit of bouncing as we head back up the hill. It's not always pretty, but completely functional. It'd be pretty cool to go back and do this block all over again with the modifications that have been made to this machine. It had a bit of a slew issue, and obviously, like I mentioned before, if the brake had been changed out to the larger one, just that extra half metre might have made all the difference to this particular job. Roading becomes pretty minimal, as you can see, and the grapple will muscle up in a minute. You'll see that tree, which has just been pulled round to 90, will actually come right once the friction comes off it from the side of the hill. Here it comes around now. This is a very small skid, and you can see that line in the background is obviously the tether machine. Working in conjunction is something we find is pretty good with these machines. The 255 there is sitting on some corduroy with that tether machine in the background. So no one down the hill other than a man in a machine in a cab, designed to do the job. Pretty good recovery, some nice full stems there, and you can see just that 218 brake. So the machine has a bit of trouble slowing around here. That's since been repaired, and we've got a pretty good little 255 there. In the next slide, we've got a cap which has been made. So where that tree was down the hill, this can be lifted up by a digger, placed on top of that tree and then chained to the tree. You can see there's a top roller there from a digger being used for a wire rope to run over top, and there's also a shackle there for a running block. So depending on which way you're going to run, whether you're scabbing or shotgunning, just some different ways of doing the job safely. So there's a close-up coming of it. There's a bit of a gusset being put in that angle there, just to help the whole thing, bit of strength. And as I say, it chains to the tree down the bottom. Obviously grip the tree inside the little arms there and hold it in place. In the next shot, there's just a tree being used as a tail spar without a cap, and that rope stayed there for the whole block. As you can see, some reasonable sized trees, and yeah, that's a method that's been used quite a lot too. So yeah, thanks for watching a quick little vid. Hopefully it's just sort of shows you the use of tailspars. I mean, we all know, everyone knows what a tailspar is, but yeah, methods being used here in Nelson.